In a world where wealth ruled louder than talent, one poor girl dared to dance, not for applause, not for fame, but for the mother who raised her and the dream that refused to die. This wasn't just rebellion. This was war, dignity versus pride. So when the CEO sneered and said, "Why don't you give us a twirl, Waitress's daughter?" the room erupted in cruel laughter. But they didn't know. She wasn't dancing for them. She was dancing against them. And the moment Maya moved, grace swallowed their mockery. Silence crushed their pride. That night, history didn't whisper, it roared. But before we dive in, don't forget to like this video and drop a comment telling us where you're watching from. Your support truly means the world. Now let's get into the story. Maya's world was far from the glitz and glamour of the privileged. Her mother worked as a waitress at the Grand Aurelia, the city's most luxurious hotel, where the elite dined and entertained. Every day, Maya trailed behind her mother, wiping tables, cleaning spills, and picking up discarded crumbs. She often fantasized about the beautiful lives the guests led, but she never saw herself as part of that world. Yet there was one thing that set Maya apart from the others: her love for dance. When no one was around, she would sneak into the empty banquet halls, moving her body gracefully across the cold marble floors, copying the ballet steps she had once seen on television. Despite their meager means, her mother had given her an old, second-hand phone for her birthday, a gift Maya cherished. She would watch ballet videos for hours, learning each move with obsessive dedication. Maya had no friends. The other children in her neighborhood laughed at her dreams of becoming a ballerina. "Ballet is for the rich," they would taunt, rolling their eyes. But Maya didn't care. She danced because it made her feel alive, like she could escape from the poverty that surrounded her. Her mother, concerned for her, would often say, "Maya, dreams like yours don't come true for people like us." But Maya always responded with a quiet smile, "Maybe mine will." Every night, after dinner, Maya would tie a piece of cloth around her feet to protect them and practice until her body ached. Ballet was more than a dream. It was her lifeline. It was her passion, her escape, and the only thing that made her feel truly free. The Grand Aurelia was buzzing with excitement. The most exclusive guests from around the world were arriving to attend a lavish party hosted by Mr. Donovan Pierce, the ruthless billionaire CEO. The glittering ballroom was filled with laughter and luxury, but Maya and her mother were stuck in the back, serving drinks and cleaning up after the guests. Fate, however, had other plans. Mr. Pierce had a daughter, Victoria Pierce, who was not only the jewel of his life, but also the star performer at the event. Victoria was everything Maya wasn't: rich, elegant, and impeccably trained in ballet. That night, she was set to perform a private showcase for the elite crowd, and Donovan couldn't have been more proud. "My daughter is a star," he boasted. "Watch her light up this hall tonight." Maya, watching from behind the curtain, felt a pang of envy. Victoria danced with a grace Maya could only dream of. Every move was flawless, every step executed with precision. The guests cheered in admiration, and Donovan's chest swelled with pride. "My daughter is the best ballet dancer in this city," he announced, his voice dripping with smug satisfaction. Maya felt a lump in her throat. How could she ever measure up to this? But as she watched Victoria glide across the stage, something inside her stirred. It was more than jealousy. It was the burning desire to prove that anyone, even a poor waitress's daughter, could defy the odds and follow her dreams. After Victoria's performance, the guests showered her with praise. But then Donovan, with his usual arrogance, noticed Maya standing quietly in the wings. "Oh, look!" he sneered. "The waitress's daughter wants to dance too. Come on then, dance for us. Let's see what you've got." The room erupted in laughter. Maya froze, mortified. Her mother's face turned pale as she stood by, helpless. This was never supposed to happen. Donovan thought this would be just another joke, a way to amuse his friends. But what he didn't know was that this moment would ignite something in Maya that could never be extinguished. Maya's heart raced. She glanced at her mother, whose face was filled with fear. Her mother's eyes pleaded with her to step back. "Don't, Maya," she whispered, but Maya knew what this moment meant. If she walked away now, It would be more than just an embarrassing defeat. It would be a lifelong shame. But Maya wasn't just a scared girl anymore. She was a dreamer with a purpose. With every ounce of courage she could muster, she stepped forward. The laughter around her grew louder. Is she really going to do it? Someone whispered. Maya closed her eyes and ignored the voices. This was no longer about them. It was about her. Taking her place in the center of the room, Maya set her body into position, ready to face the world's ridicule head-on. As the music began, the delicate ballet tune filled the air, soft and slow. It was meant to humiliate her, but Maya blocked out the mockery. Instead, she focused on every painful night she had practiced alone, every bruise on her feet, every tear she had hidden in the dark. It all came rushing back to her. This was her moment, her chance. Maya's body began to move. Her arms stretched, her legs glided across the floor. She felt the world around her disappear as she danced. Slowly, the laughter began to die down. The room grew quieter. Guests leaned forward, caught in the unexpected beauty of her movement. Donovan's arrogant smirk faded as he watched, stunned. Maya's body flowed like water. Her spins were flawless. Her leaps defied gravity. She wasn't just performing. She was telling a story, her story. Every jump spoke of the hardship she had endured. Every pirouette was a defiance of the world that told her she would never make it. The crowd was spellbound. As she landed her final move, the entire room went silent. For a long moment, no one moved. Then, as if breaking a spell, a single clap echoed through the hall, another, then the whole room erupted in applause. They had witnessed something extraordinary, something they would never forget. Maya stood there, her body trembling but her heart soaring. She had done it. She had silenced the laughter. She had danced her way into history. Among the guests, one woman stood out. Elena Hart, a renowned ballet instructor with a reputation that stretched across the world, watched Maya closely. Elena had been invited by Donovan to witness Victoria's performance, but now she was mesmerized by the waitress's daughter. After the applause died down, Elena approached Maya. "Who taught you this?" she asked, her voice a mixture of admiration and curiosity. Maya, breathing heavily, replied softly, "No one. I taught myself." The room fell into stunned silence. Elena's eyes widened. "You taught yourself?" Elena Hart stepped forward, her voice now serious. "Would you like to train at the National Ballet Academy? I'll sponsor you personally. Full scholarship." Maya's heart skipped a beat. This was the moment she had always dreamed of, but it was real. It was happening. Her entire world had just shifted. "Yes," Maya whispered, her voice shaking. "Yes, please." Donovan Pierce's pride was shattered. He stormed into his office, furiously smashing his wine glass against the wall. "That girl humiliated me in front of everyone. She will regret it." He raged. "My daughter is the best ballet dancer in this city. No one will take that away from her, not even the waitress's daughter." Determined to crush Maya's spirit, Donovan ordered his assistants to do whatever it took to stop her. Block her scholarship, sabotage her training, do whatever you have to do. But what he didn't know was that Maya's fire could never be extinguished. Maya arrived at the National Ballet Academy, feeling like a fish out of water. The building was grand, filled with the city's elite dancers. But Maya didn't let it intimidate her. She walked with her head held high, despite her worn clothes and old bag. Whispers followed her. "Isn't she the girl from the party? The waitress's daughter? She doesn't belong here." But Maya didn't care. Maya's days at the National Ballet Academy were a whirlwind of relentless discipline and exhausting practice. Elena Hart saw her potential but spared her no mercy, driving her to her limits and beyond. "Talent opened the door for you, Maya," Elena would tell her sternly, "but discipline and perseverance will keep it open. Don't ever forget that." From dawn until late at night, Maya danced. Her muscles screamed, aching in ways she never thought possible. Every misstep brought a rebuke from Elena, whose tough love was legendary. Yet Maya refused to yield. As weeks passed, Maya's talent became undeniable. Even the harshest critics at the academy grudgingly admitted she was a force of nature. Victoria Pierce, fueled by envy, grew more desperate with each passing day. Her father's pride and influence meant everything to her, and Maya's rising star was a threat she couldn't bear. Victoria and her circle of elite friends intensified their sabotage. It started subtly, notes disappearing, costumes misplaced, whispered insults, but soon escalated to actions far more dangerous. Maya began noticing strange occurrences, slippery polish deliberately, spilled on the studio floor moments, before her solo practices, tampered shoes with broken ribbons, even torn leotards on performance days. Each setback stung Maya deeply, yet with every act of sabotage, her resolve only hardened. Preparations for the Grand Ballet showcase, the most prestigious event in the Academy's calendar, intensified. Every dancer dreamed of performing on this stage, hoping to catch the eye of influential ballet directors, choreographers, and wealthy patrons. Elena Hart privately coached Maya every night, fine-tuning her technique with unwavering determination. "You must dance as if the entire world depends on it," Elena urged. "Because in your case, Maya, it just might." Despite Elena's faith, Donovan's sabotage intensified further, fueled by a growing desperation. He even approached Elena privately one night after a rehearsal, his voice dangerously smooth. "Withdraw your support from the waitress's daughter," he warned. "Her place isn't here." Elena stood firm, eyes blazing with indignation. "Talent decides who belongs here, Donovan, not your money or your ego. Maya will dance, and she will shine." Donovan's face darkened. "You'll regret this." Elena lifted her chin defiantly. "Threats won't change the truth. Your daughter has talent, but Maya has something your money could never buy. A heart that dances for more than applause." The night before the showcase, Maya practiced alone, driven by anticipation and anxiety. Her ankle throbbed painfully from a recent injury. Another accident, orchestrated by Victoria's friends, but she pushed through the pain. Suddenly, footsteps echoed softly in the hallway. Turning quickly, Maya saw Victoria enter, her eyes cold with resentment. "Do you honestly think you can beat me?" Victoria sneered. "You're a curiosity, nothing more. Tomorrow, when the applause fades, you'll still be nobody." Maya met Victoria's gaze steadily, her voice calm but unwavering. "Maybe, but even if I never win, I'll still be happy for coming this far, because I dance for something you'll never understand." Victoria laughed bitterly. "And what's that?" Maya smiled faintly. "Hope." Victoria stormed out angrily, leaving Maya alone, but more determined than ever. The Academy's auditorium was filled to overflowing. Donovan Pierce sat in the front row, his presence dominating the atmosphere, waiting confidently for Maya's inevitable failure. Victoria performed first, flawlessly executing a routine designed to dazzle. The crowd erupted in applause, and Donovan's arrogant grin returned. Then Maya stepped onto the stage. Her simple dress seemed out of place among the elegant costumes, but her expression was fearless. Elena stood off stage, silently willing her strength. The music began. Maya's injured ankle burned with every step, but she ignored the pain, channeling it into her performance. Each graceful movement spoke volumes of poverty, hardship, defiance, and triumph. She danced not just with technique, but with raw, unmatched emotion. Mid-performance, however, Maya felt something snap in her injured ankle. Pain shot through her body, blinding and fierce. Gasps filled the audience as Maya stumbled, nearly collapsing. Donovan smirked victoriously. Victoria watched smugly from backstage. It seemed they had won, but Maya steadied herself. Gathering every ounce of courage left, she rose gracefully and continued dancing, now even more passionately than before. Tears blurred her vision, but she danced as though her life depended on it, transforming agony into artistry. When the music ended and Maya executed her final trembling pose, the hall erupted into stunned silence. Then slowly the audience rose as one, their applause deafening, thunderous, heartfelt. Elena cried openly, moved by the sheer courage she had witnessed. Even Donovan sat frozen, unable to comprehend what he'd just witnessed. Maya stood, breathless, victorious, tears streaming down her face. She had won, against sabotage, pain, prejudice, and power. Maya's performance became the talk of the ballet world overnight. Offers poured in from prestigious companies worldwide. Victoria, overshadowed and forgotten, watched helplessly as Maya's star eclipsed her own. Donovan, furious and humiliated, quietly retreated, powerless against public opinion and admiration for the waitress's daughter who had defied all odds. Elena embraced Maya warmly after the showcase, whispering, "You've changed everything." Maya, exhausted but radiant, replied quietly, "I only danced my truth." Years later, Maya became an international sensation, a world-renowned ballerina. Celebrated for breaking barriers and inspiring millions, she founded an academy dedicated to helping talented but impoverished children realize their dreams, just as she once had. Above the academy's entrance, a plaque read simply, "Dance is for everyone. Dreams belong to the brave." Every day, children walked through those doors, believing in possibilities Maya had proven existed. Maya often visited, quietly watching young dancers, always remembering that night, a forgotten girl who dared to dance, changing the world forever. The end. If you enjoyed this story, please give it a like and don't forget to subscribe for more heartfelt stories.